Unmatched is famous for having an extensive roster of playable characters, but with so many matchups available, it is extremely difficult to play them all. In this series, we will be analyzing a variety of matchups in detail and hopefully discover some hidden gems. Join me as we explore the latest matchup of the month. If you're a fan of the channel, consider supporting me on Patreon. For as little as $1 per month, you can help me continue to bring you premier Unmatched content. Unlock exclusive rewards by becoming a patron today.
What's up guys, Zero Skater here, and we are back for another matchup of the month for May, this time featuring Little Red versus the Wayward Sisters. And this is going to be a really interesting one because as we know, they both have a lot of tricks up their sleeve. Little Red with her basket and the Wayward Sisters with their cauldron and the spells they can cast. So there are going to be symbols flying everywhere. We're going to see who can make the most deadly combinations. And so I'm really excited to give this one a shot. And I know you all love to see my amazing top tier Wayward Sisters gameplay. So got some more of that coming up for you. Can't wait. And then I also just want to mention that we got the Witcher stuff. As you can see, these awesome boxes next to me. That stuff is coming out soon, so if you guys haven't ordered yours already, make sure you go do so. I think it's going to be shipping pretty soon coming up here, and I will have a box opening video as well that you all can check out. And there's some good stuff coming up for those sets. Definitely some of my favorite sets that have released in a long time. My favorite IP sets for sure. I just think the cards and the mechanics are super cool, so I'm really excited about all that. And there's been some great reveals all throughout the last few weeks from other content creators, like we got Baked Goods and Dark Blade and Maneuver Men and Historically Unmatched and Captain Crockpot. All that good stuff. You guys make sure you're following all those channels as well if you want to get more Unmatched content, you know, like we all do. So yeah, it's a bunch of good stuff. Cannot wait for The Witcher. But I want to get into this matchup. So as always, guys, be sure to attack that like button if you enjoy the video and subscribe for more Unmatched content. And with that said, let's get on into Little Red versus the Wayward Sisters.
Alright, so here we are on Vorpal board, as always, to check out our first of the two fighters being the Wayward Sisters. Now, this is actually going to be the only fighter I review because I have already reviewed the Little Red deck back in, I believe it was December of 2023's episode. That was Little Red versus Dr. Jill Trent. So if you want to see the full rundown on Little Red, go check out that other video. I can put a link up above, maybe one of those little card things Darkblade can edit up in the top there. But yeah, so go check that one out if you want to see the explanation on Little Red. But we're going to talk about the Wayward Sisters here because they are a new fighter out of the Slings and Arrows box and have not been on the channel featured yet. So the Wayward Sisters are a group of multi-heroes similar to the Raptors. There are 3 of them. They each have 6 starting health. They're all move 2 and melee. Their ability is called Bubbling Brew. So your cards go into your cauldron instead of your discard pile. And after you attack, you may cast one spell that you have the ingredients for. And if you do, discard all cards in your cauldron. What's done cannot be undone. So, when you cast a spell, well, first of all, let's take a look at the cauldron. So this is the cauldron. You have 4 different spells you can cast. There are different symbols, being the snake, the bat, and the claw there. And each of those symbols are shown on the cards. As you can see, this one underneath where it says any, it's got the claw. This one's got the snake. This one's got the bat. So each card will have a symbol, much like Little Red. And then when they go to your discard pile, first they go to the cauldron instead. They pile up here, and you can cast a spell by discarding all of them and casting one of these spells at the bottom that matches the symbols that you had in the cauldron. So if you use a bat and a snake, you can draw a card and then have one of your fighters recover 1 health. So that is really good. You get a little bit of healing and card draw. That's quite good. The snake and the claw lets you move any fighter up to 3 spaces. Now that's any fighter. It could be your own. It could be the opposing fighter. It could be a fighter that wasn't even involved in the combat. So it doesn't matter. So that's pretty strong as well, but definitely one of the lesser used spells, I would say. But it's good if you want to kite your opponent, right? Like you maneuver up and instead of ending adjacent to them, you push them away, kind of like a rending shot. So that's pretty cool. If you use the claw and the bat, you get to deal a damage to a fighter that shares a zone with any of your fighters. So again, it does not have to be the specific fighter in the combat that the spell was casted after. It could be any of your fighters, and you'll just deal 1 ping damage to a fighter that shares a zone. That's a great source of auto damage. And then, of course, if you have the snake, the claw, and the bat, so you discard all 3, you can gain an action. So turning any card into like a Jeet from Bruce Lee's deck, that's pretty cool. To be able to just action gain and kind of create Build-A-Bear combos by casting that spell there. Now, important to note that you, again, discard all the cards in your cauldron. You can only cast 1 spell at a time, per combat. So even if you had 2 snakes, let's say a bat and a claw, you could not cast the snake plus bat and the snake plus claw. You'd have to choose one of the spells. So it doesn't stack like that, so unfortunately, but it's still really cool. You can also, though, you can only cast the spells after you attack, so it does not work on defense. So all important things to note, definitely a lot to think about. And you have to plan out your turns according to what ingredients you currently have, what ingredients you think you are going to have, if you have to defend on your opponent's turn, and what spells you're going to want to cast. If you can maximize efficiency of your spell casting, that's how you really make the Sisters effective. So then let's take a look at the cards in their deck. First of all, if you want to just check out this awesome art in this trio here, it's Double Double, Toil and Trouble, Fire Burn, and Cauldron Bubble. And we had a reveal, me and Darkblade and Baked Goods. This was me, this was Darkblade, this was Baked Goods. You guys probably saw that back in the reveal season. That was a lot of fun. But it's just really cool how the art matches up here, so I put them all next to each other so you can kind of see the full panorama view. But taking a look at each one individually, Double Double, it's a 3-value attack. It's got a 2 boost value. There's 3 copies in the deck, and it's the claw symbol. And during combat, increase the value of this card by +1 for each different ingredient symbol in your cauldron. So if you have 1 of each in your cauldron, this goes up to a 6, which is incredibly powerful, as you know. But the only bad thing about an effect like this is that if you already have 1 of each in your cauldron, that means you didn't cast a spell like the previous combat when you probably could have if you were attacking. And so you're kind of being excessive with your cauldron buildup. And so that's not the best, but there are definitely times where you just want that extra strength point, right? You want to bump it up to a 6 instead of just a 5. That definitely can be significant. So there's a lot to balance with trying to time your usage of this card. And similarly, our next card, Toil and Trouble, is basically the same deal, but a 2-value defense card with a 3 boost value instead of a 2, so that can matter, of course. And, of course, when you boost with your cards, they go to the cauldron instead of the discard pile, so that's also another thing to keep in mind. But this one can get up to a 5-value defense that is very strong. 5-value flat defense is incredibly good. Of course, if there's some kind of offensive cancel that can negate this, or if it's something like a stasis from Jill that could also stop it from bumping up in value. And of course, if your cauldron is empty, this is just a blank 2, which is horrible. But being able to go up to a 5 is really good. But yet again, to get it to a 5, you have to have 1 of each in your cauldron. That means you already have 3 cards. And then this is going to be a 4th one, and then you have to attack with a 5th card before you're casting a spell. So that's kind of a big waste in spell potential, because you could have casted 2 spells at that point instead of just the 1. So, take that as you will. You just got to balance your usage of it yet again. And then the third one, Fire Burn, Cauldron Bubble. This one is a versatile 3, so offense or defense, and it's got the bat symbol. So each one of these panorama cards have a different symbol, which is cool. Also 3 copies for this one and a 2 boost value. And immediately you can return a card in your discard pile to your cauldron. So if you have an empty cauldron and you attack with this card, you can immediately bring 1 back and then cast somewhat a spell of your choice, right? As long as it involves the bat, you could throw a snake in there with the immediately effect so that you can draw 1 and heal 1, or you can toss a claw in there so you can deal 1 damage. So both of those are really good. So attacking with this card on an empty cauldron is very efficient because you get to instantly cast a spell after that combat. Using this on defense can help set up for something like an offensive double-double by loading up different symbols, but definitely defending with just kind of a blank 3 in a way is not the best. So I think this card's definitely better used on offense. Going on, we're going to see the All-Seeing Familiar, a 4-value attack. Now this is the highest printed value in the entire deck, the only printed 4, so it's a great feint punish. And then its effect is immediately return a card in your discard pile to your cauldron. So much like Fire Burn Cauldron Bubble, but it's a printed 4 instead of a 3. And also, after combat, if you won the combat, you look at the top card of your deck and you put it in your hand or your cauldron. So that's really cool because it's extra card draw, and the sisters typically win by being aggressive and killing the opponent. They don't typically outlast or play some kind of fatiguey value game. They're usually pretty aggressive and they want card draw, so that's pretty nice. And you could put it in your cauldron as well if you absolutely need to, like if that will complete the specific spell that you need. Like let's say you attack with this, you immediately return a snake to the cauldron, and the top card of your deck is a bat, and you had an empty cauldron, you could instantly throw that bat into the cauldron so that you can trigger the action gain spell using all 3 after the combat resolves. So that's pretty neat. Moving on, we have Hurly Burly. It's a 3-value attack. This is probably one of the lesser cards in the deck, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan. The reason being is that the effect is during combat. Reveal the top card of your deck. Your opponent chooses one. And that's the biggest reason I'm not a fan, because anytime you give your opponent the choice of an effect, they're always going to choose the one that is worse for you at the time, and that always feels bad. You always get the worst end of the deal, right? So I'm not a big fan of those kinds of effects, but either you're going to put the top card of your deck into your hand, so in that case it's just draw a card, or you're going to put that card into your cauldron and add its boost value to this card's value, so essentially a blind boost. Now, if you reveal a 1 off the top, your opponent probably doesn't mind giving you just a blind boost of a 1. Otherwise, if it's a higher boost value, they probably give it to you for your hand, and then it's just draw a card. So a 3-value attack that has somewhat mediocre effects is not that great. Of course, if you could blind boost this and get up to like a 5 or a 6, that'd be awesome, but typically the opponent is not just going to let you do that when they're given the choice. So this next card is really, really good, and this is actually the only reason you need multiple sisters alive at the same time, because the Stars Align is a printed 0, versatile, 3 copies in the deck, so you're going to see it quite often. And during combat, the value of this card is equal to the number of different zones all of your fighters are in. So this one doesn't care about symbols, which is neat. It just cares about the number of zones you are in. And so if you are in a tri-zone with one sister, and a double zone with another sister, and a different double zone with another sister, this could get up to a 7 at that point. Of course, they have to all be unique zones, not sharing amongst them. But on most maps, I think you could reliably get this up to a 4 pretty easily if you have all sisters alive. Probably a 5 pretty typically, and some maps a 6+, which is incredible. So this is their best defense in a way, unless of course it gets offensive feinted, then you feel really bad. But I think this is better used on defense most of the time. And if one of your sisters dies off though, you probably got this down from an average of 4 to an average of a 2. And that's really bad. It could be a 3, of course, and even a 4 sometimes, but it really drastically goes down in power level if even one of your sisters dies off. So this card right here is the reason you want to keep all of them alive, but if you've already used, let's say, 2 of these in a game, you don't feel too bad letting one of the sisters go down, because letting your opponent overkill a sister is really nice because you kind of save some health in that regard. So moving on, we have Ward. It's a 3-value versatile. After combat, place the opposing fighter in any space in your fighter's zone. 3 copies. Not too flashy of a card, but you do get to warp the opposing fighter to any space in your zone. So if you attack with this, you can push them away, much like a rending shot. And if you defend with this against a ranged fighter, you can pull them in adjacent to you so that you're ready to attack them right at the start of your turn, starting adjacent. So it's a neat little movement effect, but nothing crazy. Next up, this card is actually kind of crazy. It's similar to Battle Hardened from Achilles. So Curious Familiar says after combat, return a card in your cauldron to your hand. So it's much worse than Battle Hardened because with Battle Hardened, you always have all of your options of the cards you've previously used in the game. Whereas this, you only have cards that are currently in your cauldron, And as we know, you want to be casting spells often, and so cards don't often stay in your cauldron for very long. So in theory, you could have a Curious Familiar in your cauldron, attack with this other Curious Familiar from your hand, grab back the one from your cauldron, then this one would go into the cauldron, and in theory you could have an infinite loop of offense or defense with Curious Familiar, but just a printed 2, if it gets canceled, that cuts off the loop, of course, same with Battle Hardened. And if you decide to cast a spell, that also will cut off your loop. But we've seen some other cards that put the cards back into the cauldron from the discard, like the Familiar or the Fireburn. And so maybe if you had Curious Familiar in there, you could pull it back later on, even after you've casted a spell, and so that your second copy of the Familiar can get the first copy back to hand and start maybe a miniature loop with this card. So that can give you some extra value, but again, Sisters don't typically play for value. They usually play for damage, I think. So I think the loop is kind of a pipe dream with this one, even though it's technically possible. I think most often you just want to be getting something powerful back, like I would say a double-double, because this is like the strongest attack you're typically going to get in the deck. So I think that's a prime target to get back with this card. But it's definitely a neat card nonetheless. Next card, we're going to see just a blue 1 called Unnatural Remedy. And immediately you discard up to 3 cards from your cauldron, and for each one, choose a fighter to recover 1 health. And you may choose the same fighter more than once. And so the neat thing about this is that if you go above like the threshold that you need to cast a spell for cards like Double Double or Toil and Trouble, you get these powerful printed values, and then you also get to then use this card to defend and get rid of the excess symbols in your cauldron and get healing for it, and then cast a spell that's more efficient with your cauldron use. So that is definitely a neat thing that this card can do. This card also lets you split up the healing amongst your fighters however you please. So you could heal, let's say, one sister 2 points of health, and then a different sister 1 point of health. You could heal all 3 health on one sister. It doesn't matter. You get to divvy it up. And also, this card is fantastic, like I mentioned before, about overkill. So let's say you have a sister at 1 health. And okay, so it has 1 health, and your other sisters are at like 3 health or something like that. And you put the 1 health one up front, and if you've already used a couple of the stars align, you don't care so much that one of them dies. Now, the opponent knows that, okay, well, they could have the stars align, which could, let's say, get up to a 4 value in this case. And so if they want to guarantee the kill on this 1 health sister, even though it only has 1 health, they have to throw a 5 value attack to essentially guarantee that they finish one off. So they might want to throw a big 5, and if you defend with this, well, okay, you could heal all 3 on the sister being attacked, and then you'd be up to 4 health, and then the 5 would kill you still. But you just say, okay, this one's gone, but I'm going to heal 3 health on my other sisters, and now this sister just ate a 5 value attack that dealt 4 damage when it only needed to deal 1. So 3 damage was overkill, and you get 3 healing, and that's like a difference of 6 HP, which is pretty insane. So this card is fantastic for kind of punishing an overkill. And if the opponent is like, well, they only have 1 health, I'm going to attack them with something small, like a poke with a little 2 value attack or something, then if you defend with Unnatural Remedy, then you can heal the sister being attacked, and now it won't die because a 2 would only deal 1 damage. So if you heal it up first, since it's an immediate effect, it'll survive the combat. So it kind of gives you some flexibility there, which is really, really nice. And speaking of overkill, the next card is Pricking of My Thumbs, definitely one of the best cards in the deck. And it says after combat, deal damage to the opposing fighter equal to the amount of combat damage your fighter took. So being only a printed 2 means you're likely to take a good chunk of damage. Most attacks kind of average out at a 4, so you should expect to take about 2 damage when you defend with this on average, and that means the opponent would also take 2 damage. And same scenario, right? If you have a fighter that is low HP, if the opponent wants to guarantee a kill, they got to still throw something pretty big like a 4 or a 5, and you could punish them with Pricking of My Thumbs, because then, sure, your fighter is, let's say you had 1 HP and they throw a 5. Well, even though you only had 1 health, they still dealt you 3 damage. And that means you're still going to deal them 3 damage back. So you traded 1 health of yours for 3 health of theirs. And that is incredibly strong and definitely gets you closer to your win condition of defeating the opponent's fighter. So this card is massive. The auto damage is really important. And again, if they are trying to hit low to avoid something like this, then maybe even just defending with, a fire burn or a ward is going to keep the sister alive. So there's a lot of those mind games of like, okay, I know your sister is at low HP currently, but do I want to confirm the kill and risk getting punished by a remedy or a pricking of my thumbs? Or do I want to play it safe and not get punished by these blues, but then run the risk of not even finishing off the sister like you intended? So that is really neat. So last couple of cards, we got a couple of schemes here. Prophecy, this is cool to see this come back. It was originally in King Arthur's deck with Merlin. You just look at the top 4 of your deck, put 2 of them into your hand, put the other 2 back on top of your deck in any order. Of course, this is extra special because playing this scheme also adds a claw to your cauldron, so it can help set up better for some of your spells. If you started your turn adjacent to them, you can prophecy first, grab a good attack, like let's say fire burn, and then the prophecy goes to the cauldron. Then you attack with the fire burn, you immediately grab back a snake. Now you have the bat and let's say a snake and then the claw, and then you can gain an action and then make another attack with let's say the familiar, and you can return something else, let's say the bat, back to your discard or your cauldron rather, and then deal some auto damage. And that's kind of a nice little burst. So prophecy sets up pretty well, getting to dig into your deck and then also adding a claw. And then last but certainly not least, we have something wicked this way comes. So this is cast any spell and then cast a different spell, and you do not spend cards from your cauldron to cast these spells. You just straight up pick 2 of the spell effects and you get them in sequence, which is really, really nice. So you could deal a ping damage and gain an action. You could heal and draw and gain an action. You could move 3 and gain an action, which is kind of like working things out from the Raptors, although it's only for one sister, but still, that's pretty cool. And when you move a fighter with this, you could pull somebody else out. Like let's say they're body blocking with a sidekick. You could pull the hero in front of the sidekick and gain an action with this scheme here, and then go off on a combo chain. And once again, much like Prophecy, this card, the scheme itself, is adding a card to your cauldron instantly and still getting a great effect, so that is really important. This works great for combos, action chains. This card's really, really powerful, and it's a 3 boost value, one of the few in the deck. You have 2 of these, you have 2 of the Curious Familiars, and 3 of the Toil and Trouble. So there's not a ton of high boost values in the deck, so that could be relevant in certain scenarios if you really need to reach your opponent. But then again, I guess you'd probably rather just do a maneuver and then cast this spell and pull the opponent in closer and then gain the action. I guess it's almost the same. Whatever. But this card's really versatile. It's a really, really strong card, and definitely I wish there were more copies in the deck, honestly, because it's kind of like the glue that holds everything together really, really easily. So that's the sisters for you. I know, sorry, that was a long-winded explanation, but there's a lot going on here with all the different symbols and all the different effects and things you have to consider when you're piloting the sisters. And honestly, it's kind of like information overload, and so it definitely takes a lot of practice to get good with this fighter, or these fighters, I should say. But they're a ton of fun, and they're super unique. They got a little bit of Raptors feel when they have a lot of action gain combo potential, but then they also have a little bit of that Little Red feel with the symbols, and then their own kind of unique thing where they're just very versatile in the way they want to play a certain matchup with the different spells and finding out what's optimal and the timing of everything. They're just really cool, really unique. So that's it for the Wayward Sisters. Like I said, check out the other matchup of the month for December, I think 2023, with Jill versus Red if you want to run down on Little Red. But let's go ahead and move on to some of the key interactions we can expect to see in this matchup. All right, so the first interaction that I want to point out, and I fully expect to see this in one of the games, is the interaction between Long Have I Sought You from the Huntsman and, of course, Pricking of My Thumbs for the Wayward Sisters. So the Huntsman he loves to throw these axes. You know, they bump up to a 6 value attack whenever he's adjacent, and I expect that to happen very frequently because the Wayward Sisters are melee fighters. And of course, they are going to have to approach and attack Huntsman when they're adjacent, and so Huntsman will likely start a few of his turns adjacent to one of the sisters, and why not have LeBron take a shot with the axe while he can get it? 6 value attack is really good, and the sisters only have 6 HP to begin with. So you could take out a sister in one swing if they go undefended, which that's not likely, but you know, you can expect this scenario to happen. And so the axe would deal 4 over the top of Pricking of My Thumbs, but in return, the Huntsman goes from his 9 starting HP down to 5. So I am very confident that we will see this interaction, so definitely something to look out for. Another one to look out for, I think, is going to be the interaction between Hands and Unnatural Remedy. So Little Red often tries to attack many times in a row with what large hands you have just to get extra value and knock defenses out of your opponent's hand. And so once the Wayward Sisters see this card appear from Little Red and then they know it's in Red's hand, I know Red could mix it up, but typically she just wants to keep spamming this card for a while, and with the sisters not having any feints or any cancels, that means Red can just spam hands over and over and over and get tons of value with that card. So once they see this card, they know it's in Red's hand. They can defend with Unnatural Remedy and hope to line it up into the hands, because then, of course, it would only be 1 damage dealt in combat, and then you can discard 3 cards from the Cauldron, and that's kind of a net 2 healing. And that's really good. That's like when Genie throws the lamp into a 2 value attack like a feint, and that feels really, really good. So I think that's what the sisters want to go for, but of course there's always the counterplay. So if Red throws the hands, makes the sisters want to defend with the remedy, and then she goes ahead and throws one of her printed 4s, that can be a nice punish over the top of the remedy. But of course there's going to be mind games involved, as I mentioned, but I think once you know that Red has the hands in hand, you're probably defending with Unnatural Remedy is a pretty safe bet. Now this next one, I don't know if we're going to see it, but I think it would be really funny and cool if we did. And so it's just the interaction between Stones in the Belly, specifically on defense, and the Wayward Sisters attacking with All-Seeing Familiar or Fireburn and Cauldron Bubble. So if sisters have an empty cauldron, they can throw an attack with either of these, because both of them will immediately return a card from the discard pile to the cauldron. And so you return immediately a symbol that doesn't match the card you're attacking with. And then Stones is a during combat effect that randomly discards a card from your opponent's hand. So if the sisters get lucky enough for Stones to hit the 3rd symbol, they can go from 0 cards in the cauldron to an instant action gain after combat, you know, after they hit over the Stones. And I just think that would be really cool to see them pop off by getting lucky and having Stones hit the symbol that they want. Now, this does kind of go along with any of the attacks that sisters would throw if they have an empty cauldron and they attack into Stones. As long as Stones doesn't hit the duplicate symbol of the card that sisters are currently attacking with, they would always be able to cast a spell because they'd have 2 different symbols. Now, of course, they wouldn't get to pick which spell. It would just be whatever one happened to line up. But I just think that if you can hit one of these that immediately put one from the cauldron or this card into the cauldron, and then you get the 3rd symbol hit with the Stones to get an action gain and pull off a sick combo, that would just be incredible. So although I don't think it's likely, there's a lot of RNG involved with that, but I think it would be super, super cool if we see that happen in one of the games. Up next is kind of an obvious one, but we have What Big Eyes You Have from Little Red. Now, if she attacks with this card and hits the Stars Align, that is brutal. Now, I know that this card can typically blank any defense that is thrown at it, especially when the opponent doesn't have any cancels, and it can always just deal the 3 damage through any of the defenses if you're on the flower. Well, it's just cool because the sisters, when they're all spread out in a lot of multiple different zones, it kind of telegraphs that they're going to defend with Stars Align. And you can throw this even off symbol, right? Like you don't have to have the flower in the basket. when you attack with this card if you line it up into Stars Align, because this is still an immediately 3-value cancel that will cancel the during combat buff of Stars Align and just deal the 3 damage anyways. So red could wait and confirm the 3 damage no matter what by just waiting till you have the flower. But if you think you can sniff out the Stars Align and call that out when they're spread out on a lot of different zones, you could land an easy 3 damage over the top of this thing and feel really good about that. So while red can deal massive damage over the top of Stars Align, the Stars Align can also be used as a really nice attack, and so can Double Double if you can line either of these up into Terrible Big Mouth. So it's somewhat telegraphed a lot of times when red is going to want to defend with Mouth, because of course it has to have the pelt symbol on top of the basket. So that's kind of a giveaway there. And getting auto damage for Little Red is really nice. That's what she loves. And if you can land a double double that bumps up to a 6 value attack if you have plenty of ingredients, then you'll have a 6 into the 2, dealing 3 or 4 damage to Little Red over the top in combat, and only taking 3 damage back because it's a printed 3 even though it's hitting for a 6. And like I mentioned before about overkill, once again, if you have a sister that only has, let's say, 2 HP and you do this trade, well, okay, the sister took 2 and red took 4, and that's an amazing trade because, one of those extra points of damage even was overkill. So that's fantastic. So if you have a big cauldron, red probably does not want to defend with Mouth because that would line up really poorly into Double Double. And similarly with Stars Align, if you are spread out in many zones and you can get this up to, let's say, a 5 value attack and hit over Big Mouth, well, that's incredible for the sisters because it's a printed 0, which means Mouth will deal 0 damage back to the sister, and the 5 from the Stars Align will hit for 3 damage over the top of Mouth, and that is incredible. So red has to be really careful when she is going to be playing What a Terrible Big Mouth You Have, because there's only a couple of opportunities that she even gets to play it because you need the pelt. And even during those opportunities, if the sisters have a big cauldron or they're covering many zones, it gets pretty risky. So I think Mouth is actually not that great of a card in the matchup, and red's going to have to be careful if she wants to try to defend with that. Okay, and one more thing. I know this is not a card interaction per se, but I have to mention this, of course, because Little Red has a little card called Never Leave the Path. And if you all have heard of The Thing, you're very familiar with this card. And if you don't know about The Thing, well, first of all, you should. And second of all, go check out the video by To the Tabletop talking all about The Thing. So maybe we can get a link also up either in the description or maybe one of those little cards. Maybe Darkblade can get that for us again. But yeah, the thing is deadly. So Path has 3 different effects, of course. You can draw with it, you can warp to a space and gain an action with it, but the most devastating, of course, is the knives where you deal 2 damage to each opposing fighter in Little Red's zone. And so with the Wayward Sisters being multi-heroes with all low starting HPs, if you can get into the same zone as multiple sisters and pop down a path and deal 2 damage to each of them, that is incredibly deadly. You could just wipe out 6 health out of your opponent's overall health pool if you can be in the same zone as all 3 at once and then path them. And if you do that twice, well, that's 12 out of their 18, and you got not much to go. So the sisters definitely have to be very, very careful positioning around the zones because Never Leave the Path can absolutely blow them out. And if you're going to play this matchup, guys, let me give you a tip. Don't go to Sarpedon or Herot for that matter. And if you end up on one of those maps, definitely make sure that you are going first as the sisters so you do not get hit by the thing. All right, so overall, I think I would have to give the advantage probably to Little Red just because the thing is so incredibly deadly. And anytime you have to play around that as the opponent, it can get really tricky because it's kind of decision overload. Like to have to constantly be very careful about your positioning. One little misstep and you get massively punished. That's very stressful, first of all, and it's just a lot to think about then because there's a million other decisions you also have to think about, like what kind of symbols are in your cauldron at the moment, what kind of symbols are in the opponent's basket at the moment. So there's a lot going on in this matchup already, and to have to worry about the thing and getting blown out by path is just another thing to add on to worry about. And so I think it's going to be really difficult for the sisters to navigate around that. But now, even if you can and you play optimally with your positioning and everything, I think just the sisters, like I mentioned, they want to defeat the opponent, and Red has so much health when you factor in her health and Huntsman's health together, because if you don't kill Huntsman, then Red's just going to heal with the healing schemes. And if you do kill Huntsman, well, that's 9 health worth of damage you had to soak into him, and then you have to still get through 14. So you're looking at like a minimum of 23 total health that you have to get through, and that's a ton. Because the Wayward Sisters, since they're able to spread out with multiple bodies, typically I think they can kind of target the hero and get around sidekicks, more or less. But it's not exactly the case here. So 23 is just a lot of health. I mean, if they need to get through 16, I think that's totally reasonable, but I don't know if they can get through so much. So they're definitely going to have to rely on some good combo turns so that they can catch Red without having the proper symbols lining up in the basket. Red can often plan ahead for those turns when she knows she's going to get attacked and line up symbols properly. But if you can action gain and throw more attacks than she was planning on taking that turn, then maybe you can throw off the symbols enough to get either more damage by her not defending or waste some of her really good effects and make her scrambling for more defensive draws by running away. So I think that is the sisters' best hope, is combo off and ruin her basket chains. But Little Red just kind of wants to play, I think, pretty defensive and survive and make the most out of her massive health pool, and probably just wins that way in the value game. So I don't think she needs to take any risks necessarily. She can probably just play passive and outlast the sisters. But I don't know. I've never played the matchup before, so I'm really curious. There is, like I said, just a lot going on with all the symbols and whatnot, and so it'll be really cool to see who can make the best use out of those. But let's not wait any longer. We'll get on over and check out the matchup between Little Red and the sisters. All right, welcome everybody to matchup of the month for May.
Right.
For May, that's right.
For me,
For
that's
May.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got a cool one coming up here for you guys. We got Little Red versus the Wayward Sisters, so one of the newer fighters from Slings and Arrows. And
Woo.
we're going to see who has the better little bag of tricks. Is it going to be Little Red's basket or the Sisters' cauldron? So that'll be really cool. But joining me as always, we got Chad here. How you doing, Chad?
Doing great. Yeah, it's been a wonderful May so far. So I'm
Excellent.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah, May is very busy, graduation month and all kinds of other stuff, and maybe Mother's Day or something. I don't
That's right. And
quite
let's see,
remember.
my 5-month-old.
Got to do some math.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining me as always. I'm looking forward to this one, and we have an extra special something for this one. We are going to be revealing for you guys the brand new Witcher map.
Sorry, revealing something else.
Not that, not yet.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
It's not time to get nacked yet, Chad. But we got a brand new Witcher map for you guys. It is Naglfar. Was that how it was pronounced?
Yeah, the Naglfar. That was what I heard on the pronunciation thing.
The Naglfar should appear in the bay shortly afterwards.
The Naglfar must be nearby.
Well, here we go, guys. I'm going to flip this over. You get a sneak peek into Naglfar. So it is a new map from The Witcher, and it is like a frozen ship of death.
Nice.
It looks like, and I don't know.
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know much of anything about The Witcher, but it looks very cool. It's sailing through a frozen lake or sea, or more likely ocean. But It's got a special mechanic, as you can see. So it's kind of split into top half and a bottom half. And what that means is you have above deck up top and below deck down below. And you can see some, it looks like almost the portals from Baskerville. So on the left, it's like a pinkish one with a little kind of star-looking symbol. In the middle, kind of bottom, you have a green with a swirly-looking wind symbol. Then you have a blue cross, a little bit more to the right, and then all the way right, you got a orange little starburst kind of thing. But yeah, so what that means is you can walk through those much as you would from passageways on something like Baskerville or King Solomon's Mine, but they are also considered adjacent for all purposes. So not only can you walk through them, you can also attack through them, and you are considered adjacent to the other portal on either the top or the bottom half for other effects like schemes that care about adjacency. So pretty
I think
neat.
Bullseye counts through them. He can, I believe.
He counts through.
Like he can count through the
Yeah,
passage.
well, you're right. Yeah, that would make sense because it is considered adjacent. So I don't know what kind of range that gives him. Probably full map range, I would guess.
It's actually going to take me a while to realize. I think, if I remember correctly, something like this is close to move 4.
Is that
But
like
maybe
center?
not quite that. This looks maybe not quite, because this would be just by definition closer, I think. Yeah, it would, because this is only touching this on this one. So it's something like here, I think.
That's such a
4, 2, 3, 4.
What
Yeah, I
if it's
can't get
this?
here.
What if it's this dual colored one?
Okay, so that's good on this side,
Yeah,
right?
it's good on the top half, and you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, so you can hit all this
You can
light
hit all
colored
of this
stuff.
side.
You can go 1, or you can go over here to the blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so it's this one.
Yep, you're right.
This
You're right.
dual, this dual zone here is the
Let's move
center.
forward. That's good to know.
Yeah.
And so
Very
Bullseye
cool.
chilling here, and maybe some others. Like there might be, because if it's this one, it might also be this one. No, it can't. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it can't hit all of these.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 1 center,
Interesting.
4. Yeah, cool. Well, it's a very cool map. It's a neat new mechanic. I don't have any idea the implications it's going to have on the competitive play just yet, because I've only played it once and it was just a free-for-all, 3-player free-for-all. And so yeah, it'll be fun to test it out here with Red versus the Sisters. We got quite a few bodies on board to make use of the passageways and whatnot, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as far as this matchup goes, Chad, any notes on this one? Have you played it before? Any thoughts?
I think we might have played it once, and I think it was very close.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, but I can't remember feeling like, oh, that was a good test or something like that. But I remember Huntsman just absolutely bodying the Sisters. And then once Huntsman went down, it felt like pretty good for the Sisters because all of their action chain stuff that they can do and do fairly consistently with some of their shenanigans, Red has no answer for it. So if you're able to, if she doesn't have the right symbols, like the right hand to defend each of those and proc all of her symbols, then it felt like her 14 health was pretty quickly taken out. So I think it's a battle for the Huntsman, which is not like any other Red game ever.
Oh, no, that's totally unique to this matchup,
So,
we know.
yeah, really cool.
Well, yeah, this will be a cool one. I feel like the Sisters have plenty of health, though, and they can get extra healing to try to nullify Red's auto damage. So like you said, if they can take out Huntsman relatively quick without taking too much damage from the axes, I think they'll probably be in a pretty good spot because not only can they heal, but they could also do ping damage as necessary to take out Red's health, and she'll no longer have healing after Huntsman's gone. So 14 health isn't a ton, but then again, you got to get through the 9 of Huntsman first. So that's the battle.
Which is a lot. 23 is significantly different.
Now, I must say, like, if the Sisters get hit with a big Never Leave the Path, they're absolutely getting blown out.
Yeah.
But on a map like this especially, there's not a lot of great opportunities to hit multiple Sisters, I feel, because there's a lot of zone cutoffs.
There's 7 zones, I think, and like only 7 spaces that share zones.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of zone bleed here. So, like, you got the purple is, like, the biggest thing. If Red can get in one of the dual colors, and then the Sisters, I guess, could have the green or the purple, which would be 1, 2, 3, 7, 10 spaces at best. But obviously the sisters probably just don't want to play on that half of the map, and they don't really have to because they can attack through 2 portals that are in those zone colors and get adjacent to almost every other one, right? There's this one purple that they'd have to be in a purple space to attack, and the one green.
This seems
So,
this seems really good anti-ranged map.
Yeah.
Because like
there's a lot of pockets. Here's a pocket here in
if
the
you're
white.
here and I'm here, you can't get in my zone unless you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a lot.
4, 5.
Or you
Yeah.
have to go to this side, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
So,
or you
like-
go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still 5.
Oh, there you go. You're right.
Yeah.
But like, so oftentimes you would be an attack and then a runaway, right? But like even then you don't get the range benefit. Oftentimes, I feel.
Yep. And there's 2 pockets, right? A white pocket here and blue pocket over here. Both of those are pockets.
This is adjacent to 3 spaces, right?
I mean, as far as range, like zones go. you
Oh,
force
sorry.
adjacency.
Yes, you're right. Yes. Sorry. Yes, you're correct.
So yeah, you're right. I think is definitely good anti-range. So that's interesting.
Really interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the games and see what
It's
happens.
not like Huntsman really ever throws stuff from range that often. Like in all honesty, like
Yeah.
90% of the time he's like, "Well, you're right next to me anyway, so I'm gonna hit you with a six."
Yeah, exactly. And because everyone, they always go for Huntsman. They're gunning for him right out the gates, and so.
Unless you're Genie and you have nothing left to lose. I'm going to do this and see if I regret it.
Okay, I am going second, so I definitely need to do this, although I'm a little concerned. If you want to see my hand, it's great having 2 axes, but only 1 Huntsman defense is not cool.
Yeah,
And no card draw.
honestly, I think you want stones if you can manage it. So
Yes.
yeah, here I'll show you my hand. I didn't hate it because I had pricking of my thumbs.
Oh, for the
but
axe, yeah.
I didn't feel like I had great options like offensively, and these are like pretty meh.
Early game, right?
So that was why I chose not to. Maybe I should think about it again because
Pricking is
keeping this,
amazing.
but say what?
Pricking is amazing
Yeah,
against
it really
Huntsman,
is.
especially because it's like deal 4 to Huntsman. That's almost half his health. That helps you out a lot. If you're
For
willing
sure.
to take the 4 damage, that is.
Yeah, right. That's the big thing. But
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I
Can
stand
2
behind my
sisters,
decision.
like if it's 2 sisters up against red, like sacrificing 1 sister in order to take out Huntsman, is that an okay trade, you think?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be like a pretty close matchup, right? Because I got to keep my sisters above like that 2 health threshold for you to just pop them off.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want me just hitting him with Path.
So, did you say Pat? Oh my god.
Path. Although Pat would apply in
Pat
this
would
case
equally.
too. Yeah. You know, same deal. Now I could do this, but
Give me a double attack.
you get a
turn.
double attack on
Yeah.
Huntsman. I definitely don't want that. I could do this is probably my best chance at safety. So I will do that.
This seems like a really strong map for me to have 3 bodies on.
I think
But I think
so.
our counting is going to be a little slow this game.
Yeah, well also there's not any tri-zones, so like your thing that buffs, the stars
can-
align, it's not super big on this map.
Well, it can
thankfully.
only be, right? Like, so these 2 and these 2, this also overlaps. So
They
max
could get
it
a
can be
5.
a 5.
Yeah, exactly, which is good for me.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, for sure. All right, you ready?
Yeah, good luck, have fun.
Yeah, you too. I'll pass. All right, your turn.
No, we're not playing that game. What game? Oh, we're talking SWU. That's right. I was like, what game do you even pass in? That's
You're
not,
like, what?
that's
in
not
the
Gudnak, right? That's SWU.
That don't make no sense.
You almost got me. I was like, wait a minute, he's just passing? I'll go.
He's just passing this guy? He's so good.
Free passes? What?
What? Oh man, I hadn't
Free passes.
expected that. Holy cow, this guy.
just next level strats here.
So I'm debating boosting, obviously, and I'm also debating just hitting red here while I have it. And then I'm also debating not doing any of that. So I got a lot of options, you see.
At least boosting goes into your cauldron.
Yeah, right?
Pretty
Which
cool.
is nice. So this map is tripping me up. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not even paying attention to where you're moving. You could make illegal moves, and I will not notice.
Here. Let's
It's like, whoa, you're
maneuver
teleporting
again.
across the board.
And let's go
What?
here. No, here.
You want to end adjacent to the LeBron?
Here. And here.
Wait, you could pin me if you go on the portal. I mean, I am pinned, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, that's
All right,
not,
let's do that. See what happens.
that's not great. Oh, boy. Where's my path? At least I can hit 2 of them right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start with a maneuver. I think I probably want to keep Huntsman and Red in the same area, but actually I don't know if it matters. I'm going to go there.
I'm not sure if this is like the right play at all or something, but I'm just curious.
I don't really know what I'm doing, dude.
True, and yeah, that's pretty true. That's true, and yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's pretty true.
To
Same.
be honest, this is very strange. Not only have I not played this matchup, but I've only played the Sisters a couple of times, and I've never played this map in a 1v1.
This map is making it real weird.
So we'll just go with this and see what happens.
All right, let's see.
I had to prepare for the onslaught, and I didn't want to load your cauldron for you by attacking. So
Yep.
don't roast me,
let's
Chad.
attack,
I had to double maneuver there. Okay.
Well, actually, given that you already have 3 of the 9 cards that Huntsman can block with, the only one that would significantly change how you'd be defending is Wolfskin, which you have 3 copies of, but need to find one in the top 2 draws of your deck. Alternatively, if you had attacked with Once Upon a Time, and then Long Have I Sought You, you'd guarantee kill one of the sisters. Because no matter what they block with on the first half, you can always kill with the second half given the highest value block they'd have access to is 3. Now there are some things like Ward which might put you adjacent to the other sister that you're not killing, so they can double attack Huntsman on their turn, or blocking with pricking on the second attack to do half of Huntsman's health like you guys talked about before the game. But I think that taking out one of the sisters guaranteed is almost certainly going to put you in a better spot. Can't be pinned. Unless Ward is played, you only get attacked once, maybe twice with an action gain if they have enough ingredients. And Huntsman can probably live given that you still have a Stones in hand. Or you could do half of another sister's health with the other Once Upon a Time. So with all due respect, you didn't have to double maneuver there.
Right, yeah.
Okay, attack Huntsman. With Shrek, right?
What are you doing in my swamp?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, Shrek, I don't like you very much. So we're gonna deal you some damage.
Alright.
So I take 1 in combat.
Not quite done yet.
Oh, true. Put it in your cauldron, adds boost value to the value. I never let you do that, right? Make it a 5.
Unless you want Huntsman to take more damage.
No, you can have that in your hand. That's fine.
Yeah.
So it just became draw a card.
Yep.
And that was the
Yeah.
boosty boy one.
Then Shrek takes 3.
Yeah.
I'm realizing I could have ended with this one here, and I'm still have you in a pin.
In a way. I
Right,
mean, I'm
'cause
not
you're
pinned. I'm
Not pinned
like,
adjacent, but
corralled.
yeah, I meant corralled. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Corralled where my 0 is a 5.
Hey, that's true.
Do with that what you will.
You can feel free to maneuver right now and take that positioning.
Ooh, yeah.
That'd be a pretty good play, I think. Because then you overdraw and it goes in your cauldron.
Yeah, no, you're right. Let's attack you.
Who?
Sorry. Shrek.
LeBron with Shrek?
Attacking LeBron.
Dang it. I'm going to take it. So it's
Alright,
a 4?
So 4, yeah.
Okay. Ouch. It's not great. Now, what are these symbols? You got the snake and the claw.
So I'm debating retreating so that if you do have path, I'm okay. Or the other option is I retreat this one so that it's harder for you to kill for 3. Or I keep my symbols there so that I get some extra value. We'll just not think about it too much. I will spend, and we'll go 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean,
Right.
axe kills you guaranteed there because you only were a 3, right? With your
Well, I do have a
defense.
defense that is +1 for each
Oh, yeah, you're right.
ingredient
It could
in
be a
my
4.
symbol, so
You're
that
right.
could be a 4 that I
Okay.
could or could not have.
Yeah. All right, my go.
Yeah, you're up.
All right, so now you're way far away. I cannot go attack Shrek, even if I wanted to. Okay, I'm gonna just take a maneuver. We're gonna go 1, 2, and 1. Actually, I'll go over here. I
Okay.
think that would be very unwise to let Huntsman just get pinned in the very corner.
Yeah.
So, and Huntsman will attack that sister there.
All right, we'll drop this one.
Here's a 5.
Yeah, I wish I had pricking on my thumbs because if I did, he just dies.
Yeah, that would suck. Oh, yours is a 4, right?
Mine's a 4. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Okay, so you take 2.
Two,
The one with the
which
book.
is
This one, Venom.
there. All right.
And you're up.
I feel like killing Huntsman is kind of like priority numero uno.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll attack him.
Your health is melting away, though.
It's true.
Pretty nice for me.
That's why I can't let you get another axe off, I think. I would have totally taken the trade there with pricking, I think. I think that puts me in a pretty good spot. Even though I am a path away.
All right, we'll do this.
You had the other one?
Yeah, buddy.
Holy cow, I was terrified of that.
And yours
That
is,
was like-
oh, nice, just a 2.
Yeah, so I'll just bring this back.
Yep.
And then no spell for me.
Now I'm gonna get it back with those hands. 3 once upon a times, boy.
No, I'll attack you.
Again. Alright, fine, you forced it out of me.
So yeah.
So I take what, 2?
3, right? Because I'm still a 5? Or a 4? Was I a 4 or
1,
5?
2,
I was
3,
a 4, you're right.
Yeah, so I take 2. Blank
Take 2.
stones. Feels bad.
And then, do I spend? I do not.
Bat and claw would be deal a damage. Okay. My turn?
Yeah, I was thinking it was a 5, so that if you did defend with a 2, it actually kills you.
That would be brutal.
So that was, yeah, which it would have been if I had moved if I had moved the other one to there, but then you could have first action attacked with your stones. Or sorry,
The axe.
the axe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to, let's see, Venom is at 1. Gonna maneuver.
I think that's just pretty good.
I'm gonna go 1, 2, and 1. And I will attack with this. Got him.
Oh, you had it. All right.
Okay, 1 down, 2 to go.
I was thinking about this specific interaction. If I have the heal, it's really good.
So I was considering the heal, but the heal heals you 2, and so I would still kill that sister.
You'd still
and
kill
you'd
that
put
sister,
Sting
but
up
I
to
would
5.
get this one up to 5. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I considered that, but I was like, okay, I think that's a fair trade. At least I
I
get
think
1
you're
off
right.
the board. So
Yeah.
over to you.
All right. Let's see.
Of course, I wanted to attack with a a blank 4, but I figured, well, that thing's gonna ruin my day.
Boost.
Boost with the prophecy.
Right, is Shrek the weak one?
Shrek is the weak one, yeah.
one.
But there's no more Once Upon a Times for the whole game. You don't gotta worry anymore.
It's true. All right, well, I gotta get Shrek there because I think that's the only one that can get there.
Where were you? I mean, this one can get adjacent if you want to go through the
But I
portal.
didn't want to go next to red.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
All right, let's do that.
How the heck did you get over there?
Oh, sorry. I'm treating them like portals.
This one.
Oh, sorry. So I was here.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. So you can get to me with a maneuver 1. Okay, I'm cool with that. Okay, and I'll attack Huntsman.
And you have the damage thing to do, so I'm definitely just gonna take this. 'Cause
Yeah, I
Huntsman's
had to do it.
dead. Yeah, he's dead for sure.
Yeah, and then I will spend
What are you
to
casting?
gain an action, actually.
Oh, you're not gonna heal and draw?
I was debating it, but I'm going to gain an action, I think, and then play Prophecy.
Okay, okay. Load up the cauldron and get some extra cards.
And then I put, what is it, 2 back?
And it has to be one of the 2 that you looked at. So no cheating, Chad. I know you have an
Oh.
extra card in your hand.
Okay. So let's see. Let's see. This is actually tricky because I want to put the
See, I knew it.
He's cheating!
Gotta keep you in line.
It's not trivial to play the sisters.
Not at all. That's why I don't play them, because I'm terrible.
Oh, you're right. And when you're right, you're right.
All right. And there we go. Yep.
Okay. What do I do now? Where's Shrek? Shrek's over there. You got 3 cards in your hand. Got only one thing in the cauldron. You can only cast the spells on your offense.
Correct.
So I'm gonna do some crazy stuff, and I'm gonna go into the woods. And I'm gonna make an attack. First action. That's a damage.
1.
And I'm gonna attack again.
This guy's crazy.
This guy's crazy. I know everybody loves low hand gameplay. Pulling the Bjorn Classic, I like to call it. Oh, come on, Chad. I wanted to put you down to no cards. Oh, boy.
You do kill it.
That's a dead sister. Holy cow.
What is this gameplay?
So mine was during combat, so you could take that card back if you want.
Correct, yep.
With your familiar.
This is absolutely insane.
Yes, it definitely is.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Over to you.
Yep, 1 sister left. John has 1 card left. So
14 health.
right. All right, let's see.
It's all right. Punish me.
Let's not say that.
Punish me, Chatty.
Pardon me?
You're laughing a little too hard at that.
Mike's gonna love that.
He will. He really will. I'll just maneuver and maneuver again, and it'll be your turn.
Dang, dude.
Mike's gonna love that.
I'm gonna maneuver.
Line.
Oh boy, we got some gameplay here. 1, 2, and we are drawing some cards, boys.
No way. That sucks.
Give me them cards. I don't think my deck wants
You
to
have
give
kind of opened up a crazy opening.
me... Absolutely. It's been insane. And it's your turn.
That's wild. Alright. Let's maneuver.
Red's out for blood.
I'll attack you.
We gotta do that. It's a 2.
Yeah. You know what I was trying to catch, though.
Dang it. Yeah, the mouth.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
Casting your
Discard to gain
spell.
an action.
The claw, the snake, and the bat.
This is looking a little rough for me.
A little bit.
You had the top deck the draw 3. What are the odds of that?
I literally top decked it too. It was not the other card in my hand.
That's crazy.
Oh man. Heart of the
Alright,
cards,
we'll play
boy.
this
Heart
to
of the
heal 1.
cards.
Draw a card and then gain an action.
Very nice.
And I'll attack you.
I will play this one. What does yours do? Turn a card in your discard pile to your cauldron.
Do this one.
And then after combat, if you won, which you did not. Okay. So don't gotta worry about that, but you could gain another action.
Yes, I will.
Oh boy. An action gain fiend. We got Bruce Lee in disguise. He just got
Okay.
really old
You can
and
play.
hairy, and
If you didn't clean out my hand that one turn, I would have done this earlier.
I would have been wrecked. I'll take.
Are you taking 3 or are you taking
Oh, yes, I will
4?
take 4. I will take 4 and not let you get an extra card.
And the symbols are the same. That's
So
brutal.
bad. That was like the worst one you could have hit.
That was literally the worst card. All right,
Oh,
you're up.
man. All right, I'll attack. Oh, man. I wanted to double attack. You warped me to the top of the ship.
Oh,
You're throwing me off the board. You threw me off the ship.
Yep.
What the heck? What is this
Classic.
mutiny? I'm the captain of this ship.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Did you not want to recur it? I'm pretty sure.
I want to recur it.
Yeah.
I definitely want to recur it.
I was like, I'll leave it. That works.
I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm retired.
I'm getting too old for this sort of thing.
That's right. Well, this game is going pretty well for Johnny Boy.
That's true. I'll take him. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is just absurd. I'm going to come right here to the center that we found and right up in your face and pass it over to you. Say,
Sounds
hit
good.
me.
Where's the spot that's 4 away?
Oh man.
Run. Now go far.
Not gonna far.
Alright. And I'll attack you.
You don't dare attack me into this card. Each different ingredient. So yours is a 5.
Yeah.
So I take 3. Oh, the health totals are looking a little more even all of a sudden.
I'm in danger.
But I get to draw 2.
Yeah. I'm at 6. But I feel like I had to do that. Because John's winning significantly on, well, he was winning significantly.
Well, now you know you're taking 4.
I'll gain an action, which is what I just spent.
Oh, you get to gain. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll
fine.
maneuver.
Fine.
Alright.
I go?
Yep.
Okay, let's maneuver. And go where? Can I get to you in a single maneuver? 1, 2.
I mean, I was just next
Below
to you.
deck. And I will attack you with a mysterious card that you don't know what it is. This
Ooh,
one.
one of those.
Come on. Hey, that's a pretty good one to get right now.
Grab something. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I want. So I have one more of these, one more of these, one more of these. So what are the odds? What am I going to top deck? Maybe a claw. So I'll take back this one here.
The snake. Okay, I'll pick up the hands and it's your turn.
All right.
Actually, you know what? Hands is a May. I'm going to let it go.
That's fair.
You don't see that very often.
I'll maneuver. Go. It's not easy to run away on this map, right?
I have no idea, honestly.
I'll maneuver again.
Doesn't
Go
look like
here.
it.
And it'll be your turn.
Okay. I will... You have 2 cards in hand. I'm going to maneuver. I'm going to...
Yeah, I was really planning for a big combo turn because this is with Prophecy. I had seen what it was on top of my deck, and so I knew after I double maneuvered, I was going to be able to combo you. But then you happened to play a card that let you draw 3 cards.
Pretty nice. I'm going to boost.
Yeah.
And I'm going to attack.
Let's drop this one. Oof.
Big money, big money.
So I'll
Still a
take one.
damage.
But you just keep emptying my hand. This card wealth is stupid.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to keep cards.
Where do you wanna-
I'm 5 cards less than you right now.
Ridiculous. Where do you want to
crazy.
throw me?
Do I check you here? Sure, I do.
Okay, over to you.
Alright.
Your
Over to you.
survivability, though, is crazy.
Kind of is.
Yeah, now that I don't have those axes and Once Upon a Times.
Yeah. I'll maneuver. Go here, and it'll be your turn.
Okay. I will maneuver. Where can I go? To the center.
To the center.
1, Well, maybe 1, 2, and then maneuver again. Boost with this. And your turn.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'll maneuver. Maneuver. I think I just gotta build a hand up. Alright, you're up.
I will maneuver. And maneuver. And your turn.
Mm-hmm. Maneuver. Maneuver. Alright, you're up.
This is so exciting!
Maneuver. And maneuver. And end turn, discard an axe. And you're up.
Yep. Alright. Maneuver. So I gotta go 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'll boost with. Actually, I'll boost with this.
Okay. I'm starting to get a little concerned. I'm like
Alright.
Ralph on the back of the bus who
I'll attack
chuckles and says, I'm in danger.
He did the same joke about 3 times already. I don't think it's funny anymore.
That's right.
That's me right now, buddy. I'm not feeling so good. Mr. Stark, I'm not feeling so good. This is bad. This is real bad. You're getting the card. I'm already telling you. It's yours.
Alright, appreciate it.
So I take
Alright,
one.
you take 1.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'll gain an action.
Yep.
So, as some of you eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed, Chad is actually unable to gain an action here due to having no claws in Cauldron, despite there being 6 cards in there. When asked for comment, Chad noted that there were a couple times he could have gotten a claw into the Cauldron by boosting differently, or doing the math on what to return with that original Fire-Burning Cauldron bubble. However, you should focus less on that and start playing Goodnock instead. Thank you. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
And I'm going to gain an action and deal 1 damage to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll attack you.
Oh. And I'm gonna take another damage.
Well, let me think.
Or action gain.
Yeah, so I have to. I was hoping to lose the combat, in all honesty.
Why?
Take
What
this
does winning the combat do?
I gotta put this into my hand.
Oh, that's not great.
Yep. And I wish it was any other card, if I'm honest.
I don't know your deck well enough, but I don't know.
I'll gain an action.
Okay. This game's premium content, man.
Kinda is.
Like, this is just absurd. I mean, I've made a lot of stupid plays, but
Alright, I'll attack you.
it's all for the content. This is your last action, right?
Yeah.
Thank goodness. I take 2, I assume?
Yeah, correct.
Because you throw a claw in there, right?
Yeah.
Oof. Look at my crap hand. It's so bad. I should have played differently. Oh, I don't even know what you have left. You have 5 cards. So you have a ward, a pricking, but then I could win over the top of that potentially. You have a remedy. So 1, 2, 3, 4 stars align. And what's the 5th one? What am I?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
4.
So you only have a ward and a stars align to attack with.
Correct.
All right. I'll maneuver. Oh my goodness. This is absurd.
That's rough, buddy.
All right, where can I go? It's end game time. Time to sit and think.
2 hours later.
2, 3, 4. Yeah. You boost and you attack me. and I don't have anything to do about it. So I will maneuver again, and your turn, buddy.
All right. I'll maneuver, boost with this, and then attack you.
I finally drew a defense.
And then zap ya.
I wonder. Yeah, good game. Holy cow! Look at my trash hand. I just had, and then I had this and both mouths like at that time when I said, "Oh, I'm in danger."
You didn't have any of these?
No, dude. Look at the bottom of my deck. It's all. Look at this.
And you just top decked
And I
this
just
one?
top decked this.
I was expecting you to totally
So
like,
bad.
oh,
But I'm an idiot.
goodness.
What I should have done was boosted with this and drawn 3. I would have, and then I wouldn't have taken all that damage.
You just needed it.
Yeah, I was so far ahead in deck. I wouldn't have taken all that damage in that combo turn when I said I was in danger and I threw all my blank 2s. Like,
Yeah, right?
I
That's
took
all you
so much
had.
damage. I could have just drawn, and you still have initiative because
I think so. Yeah.
you had so many. I had so many more cards.
It was decked out there,
So-
and you still had 5, I think. So at that point, you would have still had 2.
I would have
which
still
I
had
think would have been
2.
totally enough.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was just.
I don't think there was a world I wouldn't fatigue there unless I somehow used like the movement spell to push you away. But because you can attack and not take anything from pricking, like because you had that available to you, I think you won.
Yeah, for sure. That was so stupid of me not to do that. But I didn't even think I needed to. I was like, I'll just double maneuver. I'm sure to get defense. And then I did my second maneuver, and I realized, I don't have anything worth anything because they're all blank 2s.
This is like an insane combo. So the idea is, right, you run in, I attack, I gain an action, I play this to gain an action and do whatever other effect I want to do, and then attack with this. And even if I do the immediately and I make sure I have the full set.
Yeah.
So even if and so it's like guaranteed. The first action is guaranteed because it's all in my spell, and then this combo is also guaranteed immediately after. And if you're able to do it when they're like next to you, when you're able to like attack, gain an action, then do this, so you'll have 2 actions left. There are even crazier things you can do. So it's pretty nutty.
That action gain was crazy.
Yeah, I was able to do that twice into you, right? And those were basically the only turns I did damage to you.
Yeah, I took like. I think you did hit me with 1/5 over a 2 that I drew cards with.
Yep. Something like that. No, a 5? Would it have been a 5? Yeah, maybe. With a Stars Align would have been the only one because you... Oh, no, this. I think I hit with it.
Double.
Because I was like, you don't give me a 5 here. And I was like, no, you didn't.
Right. Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah.
Very cool game, though. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. That was actually wild.
Yeah. All right, let's flip it around and do it again. Do this.
I'll do this.
Dang it. Double keep.
Go here and put my boy here.
2 huntsmen can get up to me no matter what. At least make you go there in the middle. And probably go over here. Okay.
Wait a second. Let me think about my positioning a little more.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna put huntsman here if that changes you.
Nope.
Okay.
Not at all.
Alright.
Good luck, have fun.
Nah.
No, I don't think I will.
Okay.
Oh, change your color, and I gotta change the banner.
Oh my goodness, this is awkward.
So uncivilized.
You kept. So you have pricking of my thumbs.
Maybe.
So I think it makes sense to just kind of get aggressive with it. Be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Be aggressive with it, and he backs off. Double
Backs off
maneuvers.
with my boy, LeBron.
LeBron wants to get in the action. He didn't
No,
become
dude,
the champion by
LeBron's a
sitting on the
coward.
bench, buddy.
LeBron's a coward, dude.
Oh, boy. What is this guy saying, guys?
Let's go there. And I really wish I had opened a thing to nuke all of your sisters in a turn
That'd
one.
be very rude. Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
What do I
Could
want
you
to do?
imagine? So I need a 1, 2, 3, 4 boost.
Gonna maneuver. That'd be stupid.
No, wait. 3 boost. 3 boost. So I need like. That's not trivial though. That's a basket, right? It's only 3 boost sword. Or I guess I could have had the Into the Woods sword.
2. 1, 2. 1, 2. No, over
I need
here.
to kill one of these sisters so that
Yeah, the
you don't have an
positioning doesn't
aneurysm
take
every
so
time.
long.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I will maneuver
It's not the
again.
worst thing in the world.
1, 2. And
What's that sound you say?
stay
Just
here.
the sound of Chad filing his taxes while he
Alright,
leaves.
your turn.
Okay. What? You coward.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you
Oh,
mean?
1, 2. Go ahead.
Ah, this guy. Alright. Maneuver.
Forgot red was in single maneuver range, which is not cool. Oh, now he's in single. Oh, it's even worse.
Ha!
Wow, I don't know what's going on.
Well, I thought it was obvious.
Huntsman will smack at you.
It's because of this dang map, dude.
This dang man.
Dang map. Give me the axe, buddy. Who'd you attack?
This one.
Dang, dude. Ouch.
Ouch, he says.
Okay, my
Ouchies.
turn.
This guy is so nerd.
I'm gonna do a prophecy.
Prophecy.
And this one to the hand. And this one to the hand. We'll put top and top. And then I'm going to attack into Huntsman.
I'll throw this.
D6.
Yep. Right. These. 3.
Dang it, dude. I didn't want you to get that one.
Nice.
That sucks. Well, I'm going to take back the pricking.
Okay.
And then it's Claw Bat.
Claw bat.
Claw Bat
You
deals a
can't ping me,
damage.
'cause nobody's in your zone.
Well, that's stupid. Then I guess it's your turn. You stupid stones had to hit another bat. That was so dumb.
Run away because I am a coward.
Don't path me, please.
I will attack the sister.
Okay, I'll do this one.
Take back the stones.
Yep. And my turn.
Ashley's doing a paint by numbers right next to me.
Oh, jeez.
And she said, babe, if you could see colors, you'd be really impressed by this.
That's a good one. Amazing.
Brutal.
Alright, I'm going to maneuver. And we're going to go 1, a 2. 1, a 2. Actually, we'll go just here 1 because we don't want to give extra path value. And we'll go 1, a 2. 1, 2, actually over here. Get a little closer to you. And we're going to have Sister attack LeBron. Get out of here, LeBron.
LeBron.
Get out of here. Ho, ho, ho. That's a big 6er. And then after combat, I want to finish off LeBron.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, no.
Goodbye, LeBron.
Not cool. buddy.
I think it's pretty cool.
Let's go here.
First action, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And let's attack. First action.
Ah, you got me. You got me. Dang it. What a scum.
And I'll attack you.
Again?
Yeah.
Why would you do such a thing?
The card discrepancy is real. That's why.
Yeah, don't like it. But what are you gonna do? What a scumbag.
Scumbag.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, I'll maneuver. Go where?
That tells me you don't have some things.
Nonsense.
This
One,
map is like
two,
really solid for you.
one,
Like
two,
because I wasn't able to kill any of your
one,
sisters
two.
before Huntsman goes down, like the corridors are not trivial.
2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Your turn.
Let's maneuver. Let's boost. So I can't get to her easily, can I?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You can't get
6,
to her.
7, 8. Easy.
Yeah, okay. Boost and then play Into the Woods, sure.
Yeah, no, I got this.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. We'll do that. And I'll attack you.
Take. Yes.
Good take.
That was the book one? Okay. And my turn.
Yeah.
I'll just maneuver. I don't know where to go on this map. It's so weird.
It is. I'm
1,
wondering how much of it is
2.
like really cool and how much of it is just kind of gimmick that makes my head hurt, if that makes sense.
Yeah. 1, 2, 1. And maneuver again. 1, 2. 1, 2. No, over to here. Okay. Here. Your turn. I gotta play around path too, which is annoying.
Right, yeah. Let's go into the woods.
Hate that.
Let's attack you with this.
It's gonna be those stupid hands, but I can't just take. So we'll do this. Oh,
Good call.
ho, ho, ho. So I want to discard 2 and heal 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do I get to divvy it up?
You do, but I don't think you want to.
Just put them both on this one.
Yeah.
And then I take 2.
3.
3. Oh, I see. Yeah.
I'll attack you
And
again.
this one goes in here. Take. Ah, dang it. I was like, if it's a 4, it's confirmed, so I don't want to defend with anything, you know, I don't have 4s at this point,
Okay.
so. Okay, my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I have to boost. I'm just an idiot. I'm so bad.
You get something in your cauldron.
Yeah. My positioning has all just been terrible. I don't know what I'm doing on this map.
This map is,
or with this character.
I don't fault you. I don't fault you for that. This map is really trippy to me.
It's
crazy. It's hard for me to even understand like this scenario, this exact scenario. Like
what the heck do I do?
Like now but if you had done right, because I moved 3, but if you were any closer with this fighter, then I could have just moved 2. But it wouldn't have been your weak fighter, so it's just weird.
So boost. 1, 2, 3.
With the hurls.
And then
Hurly.
1.
Flashback
2,
to John's demo of this game
3.
with the largest cauldron known to man.
Yeah, buddy. Alright, we'll do that, and then let's attack through the portal, because I'm cool like that.
Let's drop this one.
So that's 2 damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can...
Immediately you get something back, and then after combat you get the decision 2, which will probably just be card draw, because you can get a bat back right now, which will give you an action if you want.
Definitely getting a bat back.
And then I draw 2, and you'll take a gander.
What happens? Oh,
Oh,
I
you
won.
chucked a 4. Oh wow! So if I had mouth, that was.
So I draw a card here, or I look at it. If
You look at
at
it.
the top, put it in your hand or your cauldron.
Yep.
Well, it's gonna go to my hand, of course.
Yeah.
And then I can do a thing, right?
Yeah, you can do a thing.
What do I want to do? Although I don't think I'm winning in fatigue, right? I gotta kill you.
Probably.
I don't see how I ever kill you, man. I got lucky. Like, last game, I had trash defenses. You're not gonna have trash defenses. How do I ever get through 4s?
I think it is the combo turns, right? I think that's your...
Yeah.
That's your secret.
I mean, I could combo right here, kinda. I guess I'll just try it. I'll gain an action, and we'll just see what happens. Then I attack you again. Yep. So, reveal the top card of my deck.
You can draw it.
Okay. And you take 1, and I take 3 on
Yep.
this one. And it's your turn.
I'll attack you.
Well, I know it's hands, because you're going to pick up Once Upon a Time. But I don't want to take 2, so I guess I defend with the thing you know of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to do mine first. Any space in my zone.
Yeah, I think you're pretty happy with that, actually.
Be here.
Because here you couldn't keep pinging me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will pick it up.
Yep.
Yep. If you didn't ward me, there was a world I felt like where I keep it and then attack you again the second time and then pick it up.
For sure.
Yep. So I think you made the right call. So then the other action I have to do is a maneuver. So I will maneuver and go here. And it will be your turn.
Okay, I will maneuver and boost with this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
And attack. So mine is a 6, and I take 3. And I know you have the thing, the Once Upon a Time. So what do I want to do about that? I think I just deal you a damage.
Okay.
And your turn.
All right, I'll attack you. All right, I need a 2 boost.
No. No. Gosh dang it. That was awful. I lose. I don't even get to warp you because I don't have a zone anymore.
That's true.
Dang it.
Holy cow.
That was brutal.
That was really nice for me.
Mm-hmm.
Tragic.
Wow. Guys, everything's coming out Chad.
That's the only card that gets me able to attack you again.
Right?
Off knife, or on knives anyways. Like if you have knives, I can't attack you or I just lose.
I'll go here. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I will maneuver. And what can I do? Can I reach you at all? 1, 2, 3. You just keep making me boost. What a scumbag. All game, every turn. Boost, boost, boost.
It's boost to the left, boost to the right.
So stupid. So what can I do?
Oh no.
I could just not boost. Seems better. Like I can go 1, 2, and then maneuver again. and just end my turn. Go ahead.
Yeah, so let's see. I think you have to approach.
Nonsense.
Sure. So I will...
Initiative doesn't exist. That's all fake. It's just nonsense that I made up so I could win tournaments.
The greatest trick
Zero Skater
ever pulled was convincing the world
Initiative
didn't exist.
And I'll go here.
Okay, I'll maneuver.
Yep.
1, 2, and maneuver. And your turn.
Let's maneuver.
Which way do I want to kill him? I have so many options.
There's just too many ways.
You could do an offensive once. You could do an offensive eyes.
I'll attack
There's
you.
just so many ways to kill me. Well, this way.
Aha.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you had the remedy again.
Heck no, dude. I don't know what I'm doing.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I'm just sitting there dead. Hey,
Yeah,
it was the next card. Look at it. It was the next card.
That's rough, buddy.
Oh,
I was
man.
sitting on every card imaginable to kill you.
Yeah, there's no way I was ever winning that game.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
Crazy.
Man,
Yeah,
next
honestly,
card.
the reason I didn't go in sooner, I was just trying to like make sure like through all lines I had a good set of defenses to not just keep taking damage over the top.
Mm-hmm.
So I drew into 2 baskets off of that, and then I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
good
all
to do
you
it.
need. I feel like if you just have baskets to like weave into your like symbol matching, there's no way. Like, how do sisters have enough damage if Red's got some baskets?
Right? Yeah.
I
you
attacked
happen to
with.
not have 3.
I attacked with
baskets,
one of
right?
my baskets, right?
You got one of your baskets and one of your things actually blocked as well. One of your 4s.
Yeah.
So you had 2 of your potential 6 4 blocks.
Yeah, but not
because your stones are on offense, right?
right. And not just were my baskets like or not just our baskets for like max value blocks, but they're also your wild cards. So
Right,
like I didn't get any value out of my mouths, right? Because they were both blanks.
Yeah.
So that was like horrible. Because if I could have gotten some damage with those, like even 2 or 3 damage, I would have gotten you probably down to lethal range with a path plus an attack.
Right. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like
And you
it's
had
just
path, right?
Yeah,
at
I
the
had
end.
path and I had both
Yeah.
mouths and I just couldn't link any of them because I didn't have the right symbol.
Yeah.
It was just brutal.
Crazy. Yeah, this honestly, yeah, I was thinking because of how aggressive you were going, I'm like, there's some turn where I think it will turn in my favor. And then you drew the 3, and I was like, okay, it wasn't next turn because I was gonna wombo combo you after that because I even had a card to boost to make it where I wanted to. But then you drew, and I was like, this is crazy. But then it ended up paying off for me. But I agree with you. Like, if we're able to slow roll it, it felt very good for me.
Yeah.
This one.
And I think Red just generally can probably win this matchup in a more slower value game. Like, she doesn't need to play towards fatigue, but just sisters kind of just have the initiative.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
just
lets
in
Red just kind of play a slow game, back off, and just line up all your symbols properly. And I don't know how the sisters really win against that.
Yeah, I don't think they win against that if you can consistently back off and line all of your symbols up. Sometimes that's Red's downfall, though, is that she's unable to do so. Or she
Yeah,
has
we saw that in the last game. So
yeah, so I think the sister's goal is like, okay, I'm going for a combo chain, basically almost exclusively. Like, I don't think you use the heal. The ping is good. I think the ping is good when you can't get the action gain. But I think most of the time you're just going to try and just hit her multiple times and hope she doesn't have like the wombo combo, right? Where she happens to hit eyes into, or sorry, mouth into like, once upon a time, stuff like that. Like she doesn't just have the, I hit you for this. But even then, if like I lose a sister, but I hit you for like, let's say I hit you with a 5 and then like a 6 or like there are some of those too, where it's like, okay, your 14 health is melting a little bit. As you mentioned, it really comes down to, I'm able to first block attack with a 4 and basically take nothing. And then the next action, I block with whatever I want to for the auto damage and take a little bit. But I'm okay with that because I didn't die from, that scenario.
Yeah. I wonder if it's ever worth it in this matchup to not worry about Huntsman and just go right for Red. Because you're spending 9 health worth of damage just to kill Huntsman when you could just go for Red off the get-go. And if Huntsman can heal, you make up 8 of that health, but that's not 9, right? It's a little bit less. But then Huntsman could get in the way, but with 3 bodies, the sisters are pretty good at getting around sidekicks to still reach Red. And it's not like Raptors where you have to worry about, you know, triple surrounding or anything. Like one sister getting to Red is good enough.
Yeah, you're right.
And so Huntsman, you might not be able to body block well with him, so it really might be like a 9 health versus 8 health kind of thing. And not only that health that you're considering, but you have to take actions to play the healing.
Right, yeah, it's not
so it's
trivial
tempo.
to get
So Red loses tempo by doing that. And also, not only that, but if you're going after Huntsman, you give him easy once upon a times on defense, and you also give him easy axes. When he knows he's going down, he's going to go down swinging, right? And so you're going to give him easy axes, because otherwise, if he wants to get adjacent to you, if you're not approaching him, he has to maneuver up and then get adjacent with the axe and then attack, and that's a whole turn, you know, so that's another loss of tempo there.
Well, and it means, right, like, let's say, for example, let's say Red's here, where's Huntsman? Let's say Huntsman's here, and the sister is here, and you like double maneuver, or sorry, single maneuver and then attack with Huntsman, and I ward. So I take 3, but then I warp you, and now you're only a single maneuver away. Like if you want Red to get further, you have to boost, but I also have my 2 other bodies on the board.
Right.
So it's like, it's really easy for me to be like, okay, let's get you out of the way, then attack Red again.
Yeah, right. And so there's like so much tempo loss by Huntsman having to go out of his way to use his axes if he wants them, or to do the healing, which is a action done that is not drawing more defenses potentially, right? It's just literally, I mean, it's passing, right? It's a pass. But when you're a tempo fighter like the sisters, you're okay with your opponent doing that. I think it's favorable for you even.
Yeah.
So I wonder, because of the 3 bodies having great map coverage, I feel like going for Red might just be the play.
The one time I did play this matchup, I comboed Red before killing Huntsman. So it was one of those where I was just like, I think Red's hand is a little in an awkward spot, because also, like, if she's just sitting on axes and she's like, I don't have enough time to like play these, then it's just like she could have 6 cards in hand and you're like, 2 of those aren't doing anything.
Right.
And the other ones are probably off symbol. So like, I agree with you. I mean, that's what I did in the Genie game that we alluded to, right? Where I just totally ignored Huntsman.
Yeah.
And then it was like, now Red has to boost with her pelts if she wants the full healing. And most of her pelts are like good cards. Like this is the only like, oh, okay. Right. So if basket's your only pelt, then you're like, ugh, can I afford to do that? So yeah, I think you're right. There's probably something there, because they also have a number of ways of moving Huntsman out of the way if he does happen to find that like that spot to like chill in.
Yeah, the biggest reason why you always want to go after Huntsman first, or most often go after Huntsman first, is because if you go for Red, Huntsman's going to get the healing and then force you to get through that 9 HP that he has because of the body blocking. But if you can nullify the body blocking part, it really is comparing 9 health versus 8 health, and like the tempo of it, of playing the healing and the axes, like going out of your way to play those. It's a big difference. So if you can nullify the body blocking aspect, I think going for Red is good.
Yeah, I think you're right. One of the reasons I kept was because you often, like you've mentioned, like in some matchups where you pivot to that new strategy. Like I think this Red is very good into Bigfoot. Like I would say very good. Like,
yeah, very good. Favorite for sure.
Will not lose to like a good Bigfoot often. I'm not saying it won't happen, because I think it totally can, but I think it's good for Red. But the way Bigfoot wins, or at least when we talked about it oftentimes, is like if he's able to just bash Red's face in really early, just by going for her instead of Huntsman, sometimes that just puts her on the back foot and you're able to then capitalize with Bigfoot. And so I was worried if you were going to try something new, so I kept, because I had both healing schemes in a hand.
Yeah.
I had like both healing schemes, a hands, this and this, and I was like, this is like
perfect.
the best opening hand I could ever imagine.
That's another thing I didn't even mention too when talking about going for Huntsman or going for red instead of Huntsman, is there are games where you can't find the healing fast enough or when you need it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe one is literally the bottom card and you only get 1 heal, so it's like 4 health versus 9 health. And then it's a big win if you just went straight for red. Again, with the asterisk of as long as you can nullify the body blocking aspect. Like you can't do a halfway job on either side, right? You got to target one or the other and stick with it. And if you can't, well then it's the worst of both worlds. So
and it's a little extra like RNG in there too, right? Because you also have to have the symbol on a card. You're okay, like if you're not going to naturally get there, you're okay like boosting and then doing it, right? So there's like there's extra caveats in there if you want the full 4, which 95% of the time you do.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Now, when it works out, right, I'm boosting with hands, I'm boosting even with pelt sometimes, just because it gets me further away, which I wanted to do anyway. But with 3 bodies on like a lot of maps, I'm like, okay, boosting doesn't really get you anything, so you just lose a card. So right, the ideal is, you know, you're ending with like a pelt on top of your deck, and then you're able to play the healing and then maneuver away. But even then, you have to boost if you want to then end more spaces away, right? So I think there's something there. I really think
I do too.
Some good points. Because in this way, when we did it this way, it does seem like, at least how this game, you took Huntsman out real early.
Yep.
And even then, it felt like I was
a
cooking.
walk in the park. Yeah, it didn't matter.
Like I was like, there was a point where I just stabilized, and I was like, oh, this is great for me. So I think, but I don't think sisters have nothing. I think they really do have like some sauce in there, specifically some stuff that really plays well into red with like the unconditional action gains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I do think you're right though, that to probably prioritize that, like to make your odds better, just rushing red probably makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and another point too that I just thought of is that red typically, in order to get the full healing, you have to do an action first to maneuver and boost or whatever, or attack, like to get the pelt on top a lot of times. So you're playing your healing as second action, and when you leave only the flower on top, you're not threatening any auto damage when the sisters then approach you. So like
That's
it even leaves you vulnerable for the following turn. So like there's a whole lot of reasons to ignore Huntsman and go for red, I think. And I'd be really curious to see how a game played out if the sisters followed that philosophy and just tried it out and went straight for red. That'd be cool to see.
I am too. I could see that being honestly pretty solid if I'm thinking about it, right? Just because like and one of their big things is the more the sisters engage in combat, often the happier they are.
Yep.
So if you're choosing to like push back and fight, the sisters are often like, sweet, okay, I get my symbols without having to boost.
Right.
I get them naturally and get some pretty decent effects off too. So that's like on an empty cauldron, if you attack her and she's able to play like one of these cards that gets an extra card back, now you're really in for trouble.
Yeah, you're threatening an action gain instantly. On the
So
counterattack.
you can't really afford that, which then means that if you're not threatening to kill, then the sisters have all of their cards to basically like kill you, which the fact that them boosting fuels their engine is like really good in that sense too. So yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. I honestly wish we had noticed it a little earlier. But I think there's definitely value there.
Yeah, I always think it's interesting when you can find ways to pivot the play style in a matchup to give you an edge, like we talked about too with Bigfoot versus Red, and I'm sure there's plenty of other matchups that are like that. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but those are always the coolest matchups when you can just use your player skill expression and like come up with a different way to approach a matchup that maybe people wouldn't typically think of, and it works out for you. That's always fun.
Yeah, I agree. That's really cool.
Yeah, cool matchup. It was fun. So you think red favored, but the sisters got a chance, huh?
Yeah, that's probably what I'd say. I want to try it again now. But yeah, I'd say probably red favored. Like probably 60-40 was kind of my feeling.
If anyone
it didn't feel like the closest of the matchup of the months that we've had.
Yeah, if anyone watching tries this matchup out, and you try just going aggro on red, and ignoring Huntsman. See if that works out. I'd be curious to hear about it in the comments. So
Yeah,
definitely
I'd love to too.
let us know. But yeah, that'll do it for matchup of the month for May. So Chad, thanks for playing as always, and can't wait for the next one.
All right, there you have it, guys. That's going to do it for matchup of the month for May. And yeah, I don't know what to say about that one. I mean, I felt like I played it pretty poorly, honestly. My Wayward Sisters need some work, that's for sure. So feel free to roast me in the comments. I don't mind. But I felt good about Little Red, and I thought I had it for sure, but I played definitely very recklessly. And I probably drew more than I should have in the early game, and just kind of played reckless. And then towards the late game, I didn't draw when I should have, and I should have been more reckless. So it was kind of wishy-washy there. I should have just committed to one strategy or the other, and I think I would have been fine. But either way, it was a lot of fun playing these games, as it always is. But it's fun to just let loose and just go crazy sometimes. We definitely had a little bit of Full Send Friday vibes going on, and I believe we were recording this on a Friday, actually, so it's very fitting, right? So shout outs to Full Send Friday on Darkblade's channel. Obviously, I'm sure you all know of that, but if you don't, go check it out. And yeah, that's going to do it for this matchup. Let me know if you guys have played this one down in the comments, how it went for you. I think it's Little Red favored, but like we were talking about, I think the sisters have a shot. And I'm really curious what other higher tier matchups the sisters can take on. You know, like Bigfoot, I've heard, is pretty decent. And Little Red's pretty high tier herself. So I'm curious what other good matchups there are out there for the sisters, and if anyone has truly mastered them, because they're really very complex fighters, as go for, you know, all of the Slings and Arrows fighters. They're all very complex, so pretty high ceilings, I think, but they're just really difficult to pilot. So that's cool. I love to see those kind of fighters in this game, and I hope we get more of them. But I hope you all enjoyed the episode. If you did, leave a thumbs up. As always, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and consider supporting me on Patreon, where you can cast your votes for Matchup of the Month future episodes. I am definitely getting moving along on those. I got to catch back up. I got a long ways to go, I know, but I'm working on it, so we'll get there. And if you do subscribe to the Patreon, I definitely appreciate it. And if not, you know, I still appreciate all the support from everybody out there. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being patient with me throughout school and whatnot. While I don't have too much time, I still love making content, and it's just great to get back at it here and there. So hoping to do more soon. But that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. So thanks again for watching. I'm ZeroSkater12, and I'll see you next time.